The electricity sector is an important sector that drives the economy of any nation. However, in Nigeria, power supply difficulties have continued to be an issue, and so it has caused constraints to businesses and citizens, of course resulting in losses amounting in billions of naira. And so we can never say enough on this sector. We will be focusing on decline in power supply in Benin City and other issues surrounding the power sector. This is Midweek Connect on NTA Benin. I am Udwakobong Achibong, and of course it's good to be back here to continue with Ifoma Okafo.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You're looking so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I hope you really rested.
Of course, it's
back.
good. It's good.
Really
Once in a while.
you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here with you to continue the program. Of course, to let the people know what's happening around, how they feel about issues, and of course their reactions too. Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. But before we dive into the discussion we have for today, let's bring you the tidbits. A new governing council has been inaugurated by the Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, which has Chief Dan Obi as chairman. Governor Mondo Kpeolo charged the newly inaugurated council to discharge its duties in the fear of God and for the progress of the institution.
Education is the bedrock of development, and Ambrose Ali University holds a special place in the history of Benin State. The institution has produced some of the finest minds in Nigeria.
What today's event has shown is that in the interest of the development of the university, the governor has put forward a very strong to turn the fortunes of the university.
The Edo State government and the State Police Command have renewed commitment towards securing lives and properties of the citizens. This was the outcome of the courtesy visit of the new Commissioner of Police, Betty Otinei, to the government house.
I'm ready to work and take the state to a level of crime-free. I also want to say that the expertise and experience I have working in the state will be of immense help in detecting crime.
I want to thank the Commissioner of Police for agreeing to work with us. She's a woman, but she has the heart of a man. The business is for us to fight the crime, and there's no other person that will fight crime in her home more than herself. So her legacy will begin from here. Whatever you need to help and support, I'll be there to do it for you.
The proliferation of revenue collectors in Benin City seem to be creating a complex and challenging situation for residents, business owners, and the government. With multiple revenue collectors comes significant overlap in responsibilities, leading to inefficiency and illegalities.
I just put rest. One man just for me a day they rest, call they cash me, still collect money from my hand. That day I want cry. Now how much are they see? 600 now they pay every day.
As we carry this one now, what we now say reach 1,000. We can't pay ticket of 500. Money never finish.
Where they don't hold me for there. Nobody say I beat traffic.
Yes.
Don't hold me during enter my motor. It collects 6,000 from my hand.
There's a lot of leakages, a lot of gaps. We intend to block all of those. That we have a clear mandate to block these loopholes. We have a clear mandate to enforce compliance.
Yes, you're still watching Midweek Connect on NTA Benin. We take a break and we return. We continue the program. Please stay tuned.
Join us every day on NTA Benin Network Center, Channel 7, VHF. Star Times on Channel 103. You can log on to our social media handles: YouTube, NTA Benin, Facebook, NTA Benin, Twitter, NTA Benin 1. For breaking news, call our news desk on 091 535 59648. NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Do you live in Aduawa and environs, or you need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremonies, family or corporate events in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. NTA Benin Aduawa is a place for you. NTA Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art, fully air-conditioned, ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set, therefore ensuring uninterrupted power supply. We also have NTA Pavilion for all outdoor events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venues conducive and highly secured. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your events live. And above all, you can air your events on our award-winning program like Events and Style. And any booking on the field or hall gets a bonus of free news coverage. Wow! What are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
NTA Benin, reaching you from the ancient city of bronze, the cradle of black civilization.
Yes, if you are just joining us, this is Midweek Connect on NTA Benin, and of course it's a program that we X-ray issues in the society, and of course people also call in to make their own contribution and say it as it affects them. And so we do have a guest here in the studio that will be talking about the topic we have to dish out today. And of course, we'll be looking at declining power supply in Benin City and other issues surrounding the power sector. And he's no other person than Samson Sibo. He is the chairman, Coalition of Registered Political Parties, CRPP, Edo State. So you're welcome to the studio. And of course, we know we are not talking about politics today, or it is a concerned Nigeria, and he will be lending his voice to what we have initially. You're welcome to the studio, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, we have a topic looking at decline in power supply in Benin City. I want to, what's your assessment of power supply in the city? A lot of people say it's on the decline, and probably a lot of people would say they're still having it good. So what's your own assessment or observation about power in the city.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, Doc.
But before we do that, let's take a backgrounder to, yes.
Persistent power outage in parts of Benin has always been an issue of public concern. Residents, including artisans and other small-scale business owners, are feeling the negative impact of the persistent power outages. From welders to hairdressers, frozen food vendors to tailors, the struggle to remain in business has been challenging. While some artisans and small business owners in parts of the metropolis have recorded little improved power supply, others have contrary opinion. In some areas, the power situation has forced many to rely heavily on generators, significantly increasing their operating costs.
Thank you so much for that background. And yes, we are on decline in power supply in the city. I'd like to ask you before we went into that, what's your observation, your assessment of power supply in the city? On the decline? Is it increasing?
Very, very decline. It has not been working in Edo State. You see, we are so surprised that Edo State that generates power, we have been finding it difficult to meet up. For some days now.
What do you mean, sorry, sir? What do you mean that Edo State generates power?
There's one, the past government in Edo State said that the Osiomo power something, but it's for here, with the here that we have not seen it physically to see things working. Only that we heard that it's only for the farmhouse secretariat. We've not been seeing it in the town. You see, energy is the bedrock of business. Not only business, insecurity in the town. If we have light everywhere, the insecurity will be lesser. But now, no light. There are some areas in Benin metropolis, like Bowo, all those areas, Asura, Olukwan, and the environment. For the past 2 years, they've not been having light. I think it was a few days ago that they've been tapping light from some sources. So it has not been working in Edo State. You see that there's no any business in Edo State now. Even the one they mentioned, the hairdresser or welders or those things, it has not been working. That's why there's been no a sort of workforce in Edo State. And that's why we have so many insecurity when there's nothing to work with, and the youth, they can't sit down. You see, they need light, they need electricity to operate with. So it has not been working. It's only the fewer individuals, well, I mean the rich people, but the masses, they've not been having light. You see, what I mean by the rich people, those that can afford generator, solar, and in fact, not even all the solar can even carry some business machines and so on and so forth. So it has not been working in Edo State.
Okay, you mentioned the Osiomo power plant.
Yes.
You know, I know. Lastly, that according to report, that it generates up to 550 megawatts.
That is what they said.
Don't you think is a feat for the government to have come up with such that will generate enough electricity around Benin and even environs?
You are correct, but the feat is not there. We've only been hearing it. We have not been seeing the application. It has not been working. At least for the past 2 or 3 years, they've been making noise with that Osiomo or something. We've not been seeing it.
So
I'm a stakeholder in this state. I've not experienced it. It's only when I went to what do you call it, the palm out, that I see that the thing is working there. No other place.
Okay, so what areas do you feel are not getting enough maybe electricity are not be fully distributed in Benin? Because it can't be the whole Benin, because I know that Osiomo power plant was actually a big feat for government, and you know, most areas, most businesses, you know, thrived because of that. Up to that, imagine generating up to 550 megawatts. So what areas do you feel do not have lights around Benin as much as you can?
For example, you know, some areas in Benin, where they needed this light, like all these what do you call them? Varicose spare part, all those spare parts, Welu, even University of Benin, and other small scale establishment, like the welders. That is what they base their life upon. Electricity. They can't operate with that. They use it for their welding. And other people, even you too here, you need it. That is why we are having light here. Without light, you cannot operate. So everybody, every individual, not only a specific area, the generality of the people, we own the money they use in establishing. So some segment of the town cannot be using, while others will be in total darkness, and they are not. It's not applying to them to work with.
By your own standard,
yes,
it is below.
It's below standard.
Is it just peculiar to Edo State, or you are just?
No, it's not. I thought this program is general, to generalize everything, including all states.
Yeah.
That's why I was even basing my coming here to tell them. I listened to the minister, the one special advisor to the president on electric or energy also, saying that the federal government has been subsidizing electricity on monthly basis with 200 billion naira. How do we see that one? 200 billion that the federal government subsidizes every month, and we have not been having it. We don't know whom they subsidize, whether it is those all those people in power that have some companies or establishment, but for the masses, the poor people on the street, the subsidy did not get to them. 200 billion every month. So can you beat that?
Did you see the news?
It's all everywhere now. Yesterday it was there. It's even, I can show you in my phone. I don't lie.
Because I know, no, I know the federal government is actually coming up with a lot of reforms on electricity and power supply around.
This essay was with the president at Tanzania.
Yeah, before we look into that, before we come into that, we are talking about power in the state. And from what I heard from PHCN, it's talking about BDC, it's talking about bans. There are bans A, B, C, D, and E. And that these people get their light based on their bans. The ban A would have it up to 20 hours. The ban B will have it up to 10, 12. The C, 8 to 10, and then these other ones, 4 hours. The last ban E, 4 hours. Don't you think that they are doing this thing based on the bans that we have in the country and all that?
Camouflage us. It's only 25% that are band A. The rest people, 65%, are for the band B to band 0, whatever they call it.
They can't do it overboard because they check. I think there are some modalities that are in place. You know, when they begin to, those bands are based on
productivity.
Productivity, exactly. So if they give households, there's a way they do all these things, and it's also a way of trying to let Nigerians know how to consume electricity. You can't leave your electrical appliances. Some people do it when they are leaving their houses in the morning. They leave all their lights and electrical appliances on, and so when the bills come, you see some people trying to dodge away from it. So I think this is the reason why the government is coming up with that policy or initiative to now, so that it will go round. Don't you think it's a good initiative?
My sister, I don't agree with you at all. Those band A people, they have the wherewithal, they have the resources to even establish their own electricity to generate on their own. But the remaining band, where would they see money to establish their own, or to buy generator, or to buy solar? But those people that are already established, those big companies, they can have their own now. Why are they then? Why is the government pumping money to them? I reason with you in another area that if they are working, they will be able to employ more people into the establishment. But the people in the street, on the street, are the people at home. They need the same electricity to work with. Even housewives at home, they need it to use blender, to use. So you don't need to segregate or to separate anybody.
Okay, we are not talking about that. Okay, let's look at it this way. What do you think for these other bands that are not the A and the Bs and all that? What do you think is really the problem, that access to electricity is still a problem?
It is the government need to come in and put more resources into the electricity generating system. Whether, I don't know the name of the company that they said generates the electricity. They need to put more resources to them so as to encourage them to establish more plants. You see, you know that South Africa, that is not up to 1/4 of us, is generating more than almost 50 megawatt. What do they call it? Whereas Nigeria, we are still battling with about
4,000 to 5,000 megawatts. That's what we are grappling with.
Over 200 million people. Whereas South Africa is not more than 50 or 60 million.
Okay, sir. Don't you think the incessant collapse of the national grid is also contributing to, and the government is actually trying to, come up with a very solid plans on how to make it more effective so that Nigerians will be having electricity supply adequately? Don't you think the collapse of which is not even the problem of government?
Yes, that's why I want to come in. It is either political or insecurity wise. That's why those bandits are trying to sabotage it, to break it down so that nothing works. That is there. But if the government put in place a good security outfit to go through the one they are doing.
Did that because we have Lagos, Kaduna and Edo states. Did that because we have Lagos, Kaduna and Edo states as the only states that have domesticated that in their own state, which allows for state government to generate, transmit and also distribute in line with the private sector. So saying that this thing has already been set in the state, what do you think should be done more with the present administration? Because we are talking about the state being able to be, before now it was about federal government having control, but it's like state governments, private sector should come in. So what should the state be doing? So what, going forward, what should the state government, this present administration take over? Where should they start from in talking about power?
For the first time, I will commend the past administration for continuing the establishment of that Oshiomhole. I think it was started by Oshiomhole administration. They need to complete it and do the transmission. Well, I will encourage other states to follow up suit. If every state has a means of establishing this conglomerate, it will work. It will make things easier for the masses. The electricity tariff will be cheaper. Now they are contemplating of increasing the tariff. It will not be suicide, be that one now. Where will the poor masses stay? You continue to increase the tariff for where now?
All right, let's just take a break now. When we return, the discussion will continue.
We have a second guest.
Of course, let's take a break.
Second guest in the studio. So when we come back from the break, our second guest will join
us. Do you live in Aduawa and environs, or you need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremonies, family or corporate events in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. NTA Benin Aduawa is a place for you. NTA Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art, fully air-conditioned, ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set, therefore ensuring uninterrupted power supply. We also have NTA Pavilion for all outdoor events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venues conducive and highly secured. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your events live. And above all, you can air your events on our award-winning program like Events and Style. And any booking on the field or hall gets a bonus of free news coverage. Wow! What are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
NTA Benin, reaching you from the ancient city of bronze, the cradle of black civilization.
Yes, you're still watching Midweek Connect on NTA Benin, and we are being joined in the studio by His Royal Highness Alhaji Bako. So you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yes, before you came in, we've been discussing on decline in power supply in the state and, of course, the power sector situation in the country. But before we continue with discussion, we would like to let our viewers know that they can call into the program. The number to call is 081 090 425 94. I repeat, 0810 904 2594. You can as well call 0703 695 7086. 0703 695 7086. Yes. Let's continue talking. Yes, let's Alhaji. Let's come to you.
How will you rate it so far?
Well,
from the past government and this.
I said power situation not only in Edo State, in Nigeria.
We start from home to now escalate it.
Because the same people giving us power in Edo State are also the same people giving power in other states, like in Ondo, Delta, and the rest. So Edo State is not just a particular thing. But the problem is that we have not done well in terms of power supply in Edo and Nigeria at large. Why? Because you cannot in any form give contract to those who are not expatriates, because those contracts then were signed because I know this person and I want this person to come and manage this power sector, whereas those people don't have the technical know-how. Then after that, it's like there was a disagreement with Funke. Another management come in, although it is not said it is between from the federal government and private sector, but that is not what we're supposed to be getting today. We are paying for powers where we don't get. If you are paying for something, you're supposed to have it. And again, if you remember vividly, Saudi Arabia, they were going to country. They came to Nigeria to get doctors and nurses. So recruit them and say work for us for so years, so number of years. And if then that's why they also come to go to China and go to get them and say come and work for them in terms of building power stations, in terms of managing their power. Today, as I talk to you right now, Saudi Arabia have the best transformer. In Saudi Arabia, you have 24 hours of light. Why don't Nigeria ourselves, why don't we do that? To go outside the country and bring expatriates. Nigeria have things that they can generate light. We have enough coal, we have enough there is turbine, and that is gas. I see no reason why the federal government will not contract expatriates to come and manage this thing for us. We are ready to pay, and we are already paying, giving things to those who are not qualified. I think that they are not qualified for it.
Laji, let me ask you a question. Let me ask him a question and follow up. You are talking of federal government doing something. And federal government, from the past few years, you've had reforms trying to decentralize control. And we'd have, beginning from President Jonathan, he had to sell it, bring in private sector. We've seen President Buhari done same, and even President Tinubu now has said state governments and private sectors should come together to generate, transmit, and distribute. And even Edo State has domesticated that particular act that was signed in 2023. So what do you think is really the problem that state governments like Edo State that has already done it is finding it difficult to take up this responsibility of generating, distributing, and transmitting power when you're talking about?
Some years ago, Basaki made a very big mistake then. When Edo State started generating power, instead of him to go into agreement with the then Funke, he called Funke to his office and told Funke that he should stop. And Funke now said he cannot stop because you did not give me license to operate. When you know that you are the governor of the state and the people are not finding it easy, it is the people that will cry out to you, not for you to give a marching order to somebody that you do not employ. You understand me? So, and that is what we are finding difficult today. Because if the state government, the state government have can even that generation can even serve Edo State, because we have enough that will be given to Edo, and we will still enjoy it better. That one of basic, yes, I give you kudos for that. That is there. But one thing you should know right now, the people, the BDC or what they call it, they cannot just off their hand off it now, because it is when the people cry out that agreement will be reached between the people and the government. And the civil society, I expected them today, including people like us, to also come out, because we are not getting what we are paid for. I believe this new government now,
what should they take up from?
We should now, what is going to do now, have dialogue with these people. The people are tired. We are tired of this epileptic power supply. Today you have a breakup of transmission. You are doing something, you don't even have the light. At any time they give you and take it back, and nobody can even sue them.
So what do you think, if you have lights in abundance, what do you think ways it can help revive the states?
If there is enough abundant power today, you will see people will come in. There are so many things that are not functioning right now. You see these people going selling ice block now, cool water. You cannot get cool water like that in Benin, unless those who are using the generator 24 hours. And you know what is happening today? The amount of fuel you could buy to generate anything. The state government, I believe, with the new government we have today, Mondo Kwevolo is going to do something about this light. He's going to do something, because
where do you want him to come in? What do you?
We already have this what we have Oshiomo on grant. With those one right now, he can come in. But the problem they are going to have is the network. The network is not there yet. It will take some time, for you cannot just take over power and start using somebody else's line. You have to fix your life first.
Of course, that's what you are talking about. You are talking about Osioma and all that. Yeah. But we know that in that particular act, power is also given for renewable energy.
Yes.
Where you can use the silos, you can use the sun and other things and all that. Yes. And so don't you think that it's high time we started looking at renewable energy sources to run electricity supply in the country?
Have a backup of solar.
You are so much blessed with the sun.
Jammy have a back of it. I don't say it is blessed with sun. If the governor as well could also be thinking to that direction, even this small river here, the Kobahi River, is a very good river that we can use to generate light. And even today, we have a lot of sick toilet that they can channel that we can generate light with it, because we have so much in Benin. If the government really want to cut in now, because energy generation comes with so many things.
Okay, it comes with so many things,
yes.
Your Highness.
Yes.
Let's hear from Nigerians their own take on this electricity that we are trying to explain here.
Power electricity is now. It's not encouraging us. We that is using it for business, we can't use it for business any longer for now. When they come, they will ask you, is your water cold? Is it blocked? We say no. Then we go. And automatically that day we have lose the money that we're supposed to have to take care of our children.
It make work slow. So we know they get light, so we need light to work. Due to high current, they damage our sockets. Sometimes recently even spoil our iron.
When they bring the light, we go to work well. But where there is no light, we need to buy diesel, start generators, and the end of the day, the diesel will collect the whole money we'll work in the day.
Right now, I don't mostly depend on NEPA because they can disappoint at any time. So that's why I have my standby generator to boost up my work. Yeah, per week I spend up to about 50,000 naira per week to buy diesel to run the business, you know.
Yes, those are expressions of the people. Let's come to you, sir, Mr. Samson Isibo. We are looking at electricity. Yes, that's what we are saying. We are looking at what Nigerians are talking about. They are talking about not being able to have access. Some people say not everybody will have money to buy diesel and all that. So what do you think? How should these challenges be addressed in the country?
It's very simple. If government provides a good enablement, and what is the enablement? We make loans available to industrialists to be able to establish, like a bank of industry. You make the modalities, the protocol or whatever very simple for them to get money. Many people will come into the industry to establish a power industry, but the money is too exorbitant for individuals to establish. If we don't want to deceive ourselves, there are many small-scale industry who wants to go into the system, but the money, lack of, if now the environment is not conducive for us, we need to get money. Everywhere is dry up. But there are many people with a brain to do something of that nature. It's not only solar. Simple way of generating electricity that can carry the whole state here. They are there.
Okay, please let me stay with him. I'll come to him. There's something I want to follow up on him. I'll come to him. There's something you did say about in Tanzania. There was a meeting that was held.
Yes.
And of course, it was at that meeting that the special advisor to the president on power did say that in few months, we should expect that there should be increase in tariffs. Yes. And then government is saying that it's trying to do this so that we can encourage private investment and also boost service delivery. What do you think are the implications for this, will be the implications on Nigeria power sector when we're talking about?
The implication is enormous. One, people that you are trying to increase their tariff now, many of them will pack up. They won't be able to cope with it. And many people will be laid off from the existing work they are doing. So, and that thing we gear up inflation. You see? So, for the government to say they are now going to increase, the money is there. Many countries subsidize this thing genuinely.
The federal government has a reason to increase the tariff. The federal government cannot just wake up and increase the tariff. Your Highness, sir, one of the respondents there talked about spending 50,000 naira a day or thereabouts to fuel his generator. And don't you think, you made mention of all this renewable energy, don't you think that his problem is probably he's not informed that there are other ways he can, generate energy to do his businesses?
Well, before you start talking about generating energy safely, you should be talking about 500,000, not 50,000. You understand me? So, and maybe the person talking just now does not even have 100,000. Maybe that 50,000 he works it within that period of month. So, as a matter of fact, I believe time will come, the issue of this power will also be over the way we now have borehole sink in every house. We also suffer things like this before in terms of water. But today now nobody talk about, nobody even know whether there is a Ministry of Water Resources again or Water Board. Of course. So also this issue of light will also come because so many things are coming up. I was on the net yesterday where I was also studying the thing. Somebody was using magnets and other things, components coming together. And you see now have this kind of machine that they are doing now that you will do it, start rolling itself. So time will come in Nigeria because it is even good we suffer what you suffer today so that at the end of the day, because if you don't suffer it, you will not be able to invent something. So that was how borehole was invented. In Benin in those days, it was only one man that had borehole in his house in those days, Tom. Today right now, borehole is being sink with hand. So also this light, this energy will also be, we are going to be manufacturing it ourselves. But the issue is that the federal government increasing tariff, the issue of tariff should not arise. If you look what Oshomole said the other time on the listening, he lambasted those people in the power sector where they are talking about they are making budget in order for them to solicit people on increment. That was totally rubbish. How can you be saying that? And I love Oshomole for his stance that very day. Today, right now, what we'll be thinking about, he started to move forward because we are now in this 21st century that we are right now. We should not be talking about failure in a life in Nigeria. Travel to Ghana. Common Ghana here. They are enjoying 24 hours life.
Ghana is not common.
No, when I say common, no, listen. That we are Ghana is not bigger than the two states coming together. But the issue, Nigeria, the giant, we call ourselves the giant of Africa, and we are not getting what the giant is supposed to be getting. That is why I want the president. They should flush those people that are there away. Get our expatriates who are ready to provide services for us and train our people for the period of time they will be in Nigeria. That was what I want. That was what it happened in Saudi Arabia. It happened in Kuwait. It happened in another country. Why Nigeria cannot do that? Because the time we are looking at ourselves, this settlement, this tribalism is what is killing us in Nigeria. I must give this to my brother. Whether my brother is qualified or not, he must be there. That is what we should take away. Look for technocrats who are an expert in this field. Look for technocrats who can say yes, they will deliver. If you take a technocrat, you take something from outside the country, don't deliver, immediately you sack. But because of that settlement, tribalism, we will not say, no, I don't want somebody to say that I sack my brother. So I think we, Nigerians, the government that are elected to serve us, should please let us work together, ask questions, send people out, let them go and study things. There is nothing ashamed to say.
Okay, before you came. Okay, sorry.
You are always interrupting always. Don't let me complete my this thing. If you don't want me to be.
No, so sorry, sir. So I have something to say.
So you let me land.
Okay, sir.
For example, they are talking of tribalism or that is not the real case. The case is corruption.
That is for you.
That is what they of recent they mentioned Mambila Hydro electricity generating power. Who are those people that ruin it? You know how much they've sunk into that system. The former head of state, I don't want to mention his name, and the former minister, they squandered the money, billions, and that is what they are saying, pushing here and there. If that money is used for that appropriately, Mambila Power Electricity can serve the whole country. So because of misplacement of funds and this and that's why we are in this system. It is not because of tribalism, it's corruption. That is the major language for it.
All right, before, as a way of wrap up, let's start with you before we go to Alhaji. Because of time, we're wrapping up. You are looking at the way forward now, solutions to all this problem. Because what we are looking at is Nigeria should come to a point, like Alhaji said, that power should be there. Whoever wants to use it has access to it, and the access is reliable. Because we've seen the government is trying to decentralize. It should not just be about federal government giving power. State governments could come in, private sectors should come in and all that. So how do you think we can leverage on all these opportunities provided in the sector? How can we leverage on them to ensure that we have power in the country?
I said it earlier that if there's the enablement, conducive atmosphere for industrialists to be able to get the fund to establish individually or corporate affairs people, they will get enough. But concentrating everything on the government to produce the electricity can't work. We are too many for government alone to supply those electricity. We need private individuals to come in, but you give them the assistance to be able to do it, and things will work.
So, Your Highness, what you talk about government. I understand your points. So, what is also your advice on the attitudinal change? Because before you came in, we were talking about how people don't know how to manage power. Some people will leave their appliances on and stuff like that, so not using energy bulb and stuff, something like that. So what's your own take on how people can also help the government to help them?
And by way of wrapping up. Yeah.
Well, it is very easy. Before I even go there, let me tell you one thing. Corruption just don't come. Something costs to corruption. If you give something to somebody that you know, your brother, it will not lead to corruption. He will not do it. But if you give to somebody that you know that it's not your brother, you know that person is an expert, he will do it to the best of his knowledge. You understand me? So, well, there is no time for now that we'll be able to get it. Individual cannot set up this thing right now. You must need the government enablement. You must need the government assistance. Without government coming in, there is nobody that will wake up today and say we want to generate light. Government there should be a stakeholder meeting. Like in Edo, there should be a stakeholder meeting to say what do we do? Question must be asked. People must share idea. With that idea, the government of the day of Edo will keep cough, just like what he's doing now. I believe Okpewo will do something about this because there is something on ground. It's only going to build on it. When he build on it, at the end of the day, he will be able to distribute to the public.
Thank you so much. Yes, we've been speaking with Mr. Samson Isibo, and of course, he's the president of coalition of political parties in the state here. And of course, he's been sharing his thoughts with yours. Thank you so much, sir, for coming to the studio to share your thoughts. And of course, we equally have Alhaji Royal Highness Alhaji Baku here in the studio too. He equally shared his mind on what we had on ground to discuss. Thank you so much, sir, for coming to
the farmers in Edo State and chairman of all chairmen in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Of course, as farmers, of course, we need electricity. To run our inputs and store them well. Thank you so much for coming to the studio, and we hope that next time when we call on you, both Mr. Isibo and Alhaji, you will oblige your presence. Thank you so much. If as you go, what would you say to viewers out there?
Okay, viewers out there, just like our guests have said, we look forward to government being proactive in this issue of power generation and distribution, and we believe in no distant time everybody will smile. Thank you.
Yes, that's what we want, and of course with the efforts of the federal government trying to decentralize the distribution, the generation of power and transmission of power, it's expected that state governments should key into the act, domesticate it in their different states, and find ways, bring stakeholders, discuss, find ways of ensuring that power is improved in their domains. And of course, this will help in boosting businesses and helping individuals. Thank you so much for your time. We hope to have you next week when we come with another edition of the program. Until then, do have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
from unhygienic food vendors. Cook your food and of course wash your fruits and vegetables thoroughly before you eat them. If you or anyone you know becomes sick with diarrhea, seek medical help immediately by going to the nearest health facility because prompt treatment saves lives. Stay informed, stay safe, and protect our communities from cholera.
This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Although social media is a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and punishable when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Some people say an important lap